Welcome to the Flex MSE wall building video. Flex MSE is a globally patented engineered system that creates a wide range of vegetated walls. It is used for channels and outfalls, slope reinforcement, site walls of all sizes, even vertical living walls attached to existing structures, all while creating beautiful landscapes and re-establishing nature's strength. Flex MSE is classified as a segmental retaining wall system and follows many of the same design and installation practices found in traditional hard armor or flexible wall products. If you've seen a block wall being built before, much of what you see here will look familiar. The equipment used to build a Flex MSE wall varies job to job, depending on scale and site differences. But you can expect to use machinery like excavators and skid steers for earth moving on larger projects, to wheelbarrows and buckets on smaller DIY or tough access projects. Today we're using an excavator to move things along. Typical landscaping tools like rakes and shovels, a vibrating plate compactor, a laser leveling tool or beam level, hammers and brooms, a tape measure and extra zip ties, as well as planting tools like rebar, dead blow hammer, and utility knives or dibbers will also help you get great results. Flex MSE consists of only two components, a 100% recycled polypropylene spiked plate and a unique non-woven geotextile bag. Optimally filled bags are 30 inches or 700 millimeters long, 5.5 inches or 140 millimeters tall when laid flat, and 12 inches or 300 millimeters wide. Well-filled Flex MSE bags are an important part of getting consistent results. After any vegetation and organic or clayey soils have been removed from the wall zone, you can dig your base trench. The minimum trench for a Flex MSE wall is 12 inches or 300 millimeters wide and deep. An engineer may decide if it needs to be deeper or wider. If the bottom of the wall is not level, you can step the trench up at 6-inch increments so the Flex MSE goes in on a level footing. Lay your specified base pad granular in and compact. Put the Flex MSE plates on the base pad at your average bag length spacing, and then lay the bags tightly end to end, centered on top of the plates. The sewn seams of the bags should be facing the back. Tamp the bags so they're lightly compacted and fairly level. Place a Flex MSE plate over every bag joint and position it so it'll be completely covered by the next course of bags. To set a more gradual wall angle, place the plate further back on the previous course's bag joint. Lay your next course of bags as before, making sure that you create an offset running bond pattern. If the running bond pattern starts to go off, reset it by skipping a bag joint and laying it perfectly over the next bag joint and plate. Then fill the space between those two bags by laying down a short bag or turning a bag 90 degrees to the face. Don't forget to add a plate on top of any bag joint. Place your backfill in even lifts behind the bags, adding enough for it to be slightly over the top of the bag. Compact your fill with a vibrating plate compactor. You can run the plate tamper once over the bags to level them. Flex MSE walls can use GeoGrid for reinforcement of the backfill. Many GeoGrids have strength in only one direction, so you need to cut the grid into lengths. Uniaxial grids are laid front to back in the backfill zone in the direction that they come off the roll. The grid should cover the backfill soil completely, and the pieces should not overlap. You may need to pin the grid down in the back to keep it laid tight during installation. Leave an inch or two of grid hanging over the edge of the bags for inspection. You have a choice of laying the grid under the plate or over it. Some grids work better over the plate. Place the bags on top of the plate and grid and repeat the compaction process. GeoGrid is usually installed at the first course above grade and then every 3 courses after. The last grid layer should be embedded a minimum of 2 courses from the top of wall. Flex MSE means strength, but it means flexibility too. Smaller Flex MSE walls, under 4 feet and with no loading, can use our gravity wall methods. Up to 2 feet in height, the bags can all be laid end to end and backfilled. For walls without any loading, between 2 to 4 feet, our tie-back method is another great option. The first course above grade, and then every other course, has alternating straight and 90-degree or tie-back bags. The plates on top of the tie-back unit sit closely together. The 1-to-1 bag-to-plate ratio doesn't change for the tie-back method. Your next course after the tie-back row is a straight bag row. Backfill and compact your soils and the bags, then continue to lay plates and bags in the alternating layout. Greening up your Flex MSE wall is essential to guarantee its full longevity, and it's also one of the most enjoyable parts of working with the system. Here are the 4 main methods of vegetating. Live planting is done with smaller plugs. We're using a 50-count plant tray here, but you can live plant up to a 10-centimeter or 4-inch pot directly into the bag. Use a dibber or utility knife to make your plant hole. Put the hole on the top shoulder of the bag to prevent soil loss, and then insert your plug. You can do up to 3 of these holes per bag. The more plants you use, the quicker your wall will green up. Brush layering is a way of introducing larger plants right away, but needs to be done while the wall is being built. Plants as large as 2 gallons can be placed between every bag joint. Live staking with woody species like willow or dogwood is a method used most often in riparian or more naturalized settings, and can be done during construction or after. Stakes should be a minimum of 1 inch thick and stored in water after dormant harvesting. Make sure you check which end is on the bottom so you don't bury the growing end. You can put the stake directly into the bag or insert it in between, like with brush layering. To put it into the bag, cut a hole large enough for the stake and hammer it into the bag with a mallet. Use a piece of rebar or dowel to make a pilot hole. 80% of the stake should be buried in the bag and backfill. Hydroseeding with grasses is a great economical method for larger walls that grows very quickly and creates a beautiful natural aesthetic. It is important that the correct hydromulch product is used, or it will not stay attached to the wall face long enough for the seed to germinate. If your Flex MSE wall is in an area where plants need irrigation for their best chance at success, you can irrigate your wall too. Stapling soaker or drip lines to the face every 2 or 3 courses is an economical way to speed up the growth of the plants and guarantee your wall will give you a lifetime of performance. People often mix different planting methods to create a varied planting plan. Incorporating ground cover plugs into the bag face and shrubs or grasses between. Either way, it's a fun way to finish off your project. For more information on any of these methods, request a copy of our Vegetation Best Practices. If you have any questions, please visit our website at flexmse.com. Thanks for watching.